Let's speak to Paul Melly. He's an Associate Fellow of the Africa Programme at Chatham House in the UK. Paul, thank you very much indeed for your time. 24 candidates, they've become 2. Why haven't the others who are not named Keita been able to form some kind of collective opposition to the president?
Well, quite a few of the minor candidates who were eliminated on the first round did, in fact, endorse Cissé for the second round to present a stronger opposition challenge. But the candidates, as your correspondent mentioned, who came third and fourth, opted not to do that. And that's probably because they've concluded that Cissé doesn't really have any chance of winning this runoff race today, and that therefore it's better for them to preserve their individual identities ready for the parliamentary elections, which will come up in a few months' time. And in the parliamentary elections, those candidates who come third and fourth will have quite a reasonable chance of winning a number of seats. So they want to preserve their chances of making a breakthrough there. They don't want to lose their identity in the Cissé camp.
Some of the allegations that were made against the credibility of the first round results are quite, well, shall we call them interesting? There was one in particular where the government wasn't even able to show the amount of registered voters at individual polling stations. That seems, in a democratic process, to be quite a significant failing. Is there anything that's happened between the first round and what's happening today, Sunday, to suggest that it will be any different today?
Well, I think the first thing to say about the first round is that it doesn't look as if there was a comprehensively organized and rigged process. The result was broadly credible. International observers raised various concerns, but they didn't dismiss the poll out of hand. So for the second round, we have seen some improvements. In particular, Soumaïla Cissé has achieved the right to host people from his campaign in specific terms, rather than the opposition in general, to monitor the count at polling stations. And that could help a bit. Improved security in central Mali, which is where many of the polling stations couldn't open in the first round, that could also help him a bit, because it's a region where he should do relatively well. But although there will be some flaws, it's worth remembering that this is the second time in succession since a shattering crisis that Mali has nevertheless managed to hold, shall we say, a plausibly democratic contest, despite all the security worries and the threat of terrorism attacks and the intercommunal violence that's been going on in central Mali and in parts of the north.
Yeah, so picking up on that point about security, the rebellion you're referring to, I presume, is 2012 and the Tuareg rebellion. But in terms of security, there's this geographical detachment between Bamako and most of the rest of the country. There's allegations of massive corruption across all strata of society. There's the socio-economic gap between the elite and the capital and most of the rest of the country. All of those issues. Is any one of these 2 who eventually will be the winner, have they shown anything, said anything, but is there anything practical that they've offered that will address some of these issues?
Well, that's a really difficult question, because Cissé does have the technocratic capability to do it. And some development specialists think that if he were to win, he would be more effective, if you like, in piloting economic and development policy. Whereas Keita is more of a broad brush leader, talking in terms of national pride and focused more on the peace process. But neither of them has really come up with the sort of strong development agenda or strategy that we've seen from 1 or 2 other leaders in other countries in the region, for example, in Senegal or in Niger, where the governments have set out really quite specific development strategies that have delivered real concrete results on the ground in terms of better public services, better food security, better water supply or education. In Mali, the political elite has tended to be a bit weak on that front, if you like. And there have been, as you say, problems with corruption, really serious governance scandals that have tarnished the record of the Keita administration over the last 4 or 5 years. And so that may explain also why the turnout hasn't been huge. It was 42% in the first round. It wouldn't be surprising if it actually dropped for this runoff contest.
Paul Melly, we really appreciate your time. Thanks very much.